Hi everybody. So I recently watched a video on YouTube about Chandler and Janice's relationship, and that my comments on that video will be out in a video on November 3rd, but after I watched that video, I decided to have a little fun with my Uncle Chandler I Love You fan fiction, and I decided to write an alternate universe chapter where Chandler and Janice have an affair. Now, this affair is lightly referenced to, but nothing ever happens with it in season 10, episode 14, the one when with Princess Consuelo, when Monica and Chandler run into Janice when they're looking at the house in Westchester. So, by this part in my fan fiction, it is the springtime. This episode aired around the end of April. So, what in the life of my character in the fan fiction, the prom also happens in this chapter. So I think I'm just gonna get to the part about the affair and skip the other stuff because I want your guys' comments on how I wrote this part, but maybe I'll just start from the beginning. This weekend we went to look at our new house in Westchester. As we pulled into the driveway, I looked at the house in awe. It reminded me of the Warbucks mansion from Annie. I felt a gentle squeeze of my hand and looked at Uncle Chandler. Are you ready to see our new home, Princess? Yeah. I bet you can't wait to see your new bedroom. I nodded. I've already thought of ways that I want to decorate it. Uncle Joey ruffled my hair. That doesn't surprise me. Does it surprise you, Mon? Auntie Monica smiled. With her creativity, not at all. She kissed my head softly. Uncle Joey and I met a little girl who lives in the house. Hi, I'm Jenny. What's your name? I knelt down in front of her. Mackenzie. You're nervous about moving, huh? She nodded slowly. I am too, but there is a silver lining in this. She looked at me curiously. What do you mean, Miss Jenny? I exhaled. Well, what I mean is, in your new town, you're going to make a lot of new friends, but I'm going to miss my old friends. I sighed. So am I. She smiled through her tears. I feel a little bit better, Miss Jenny. Thank you. I pulled her into a hug. You're welcome. Once our embrace ended, I pulled out a pen and wrote down my phone number. Give my number to your mom and tell her that I'd be more than happy to talk to you if you need to work through these anxieties. I'm going through the same thing. Thank you, Miss Jenny. You're welcome. Uncle Joey kissed my cheek. That baby's going to be incredibly lucky to have you as a big sister. I love you, sweetheart. I love you too. 2 weeks later. Prom is next weekend. I was so disappointed that no one from school asked me to the dance. Paris called me up the week before the dance. Have you bought your ticket for prom yet? I paused. I was going to buy them on Wednesday. Why? Save your money. I took care of it. Someone special is taking you to the dance. My ears perked up. Really? Who is it? You'll see. Louise, Madeline, and I are coming over to help you get ready for the dance. I was anxious to see who Paris had gotten to go to the prom with me. Maybe it was a single friend of hers that I had met when I went to visit her at Yale. Prom night finally arrived. Savannah, Nora, Kathy, and I were all getting ready at her house. Paris, Madeline, and Louise arrived a few minutes later after I did and whisked me upstairs. Before we went upstairs, Paris whispered something into Auntie Monica's ear. Auntie Monica squeezed her shoulder. Aren't the three of you so sweet to do this for her? She is going to be so thrilled. Thank you, Paris. Paris grinned. You're welcome. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang, and one by one our dates started to arrive. Your chairs await, dear hearts. Uncle Chandler called up the stairs. My heart jumped to my throat when I saw who was at the bottom of the stairs waiting for me. Tristan. I turned to my cousin and her friends. You guys did this for me? Paris squeezed my hand. We sure did. Go have a great time tonight, okay? I wrapped all three of them into a hug. Thank you. So before I go on to the next part of the chapter, I just wanted to say that the reason why I threw in this whole part of the story with the prom is because Chad Michael Murray, who played Tristan DeGray in season 1 and season 2 of Gilmore Girls, was one of my biggest celebrity crushes. So I didn't start watching Gilmore Girls until 2 years ago, but I was more familiar with him in the movies Freaky Friday and A Cinderella Story, and that's when I first started to have a crush on him. And I mean, the crush got re-elevated when I saw the sequel to Freaky Friday over the summer, because he still looks great. Okay, back to the story. Prom was magical. Tristan was so nice to me. Going to military school changed him for the better. I can't wait to get to know him more. Midway through the dance, I check my phone and see a text from Uncle Chandler. Hi, honey, I am picking you up from the prom. I have something that I need to tell you. I clicked reply. Okay. At 11 o'clock, Uncle Chandler's car was in front of the hotel. I slid into the passenger seat and kissed his cheek. How was the dance? I smiled. So much fun. Tristan was so nice to me. Your mother and I are so grateful to your cousin and her friends for pairing you up with him. It seems like military school has really changed his attitude for the better. My eyes met his. He looked like he had aged 20 years since I left for the prom. What's wrong, Uncle Chandler? I'm having an affair with Janice. I simply stared at him. He exhaled. We have had unresolved feelings for each other since after I got back from my honeymoon with Auntie Monica. I exhaled. Does she know? He nodded solemnly. Look behind you. I noticed his suitcase in the back seat. She threw you out? He nodded. Does Erica know? Not yet, but she will. What's going to happen with the adoption? Auntie Monica is calling her tomorrow, and we're going to figure out where to go from here. The main thing is she's going to tell her is that we're going to co-parent. Where are you staying tonight? I got a room at the hotel down the street. There's a couch in the room that you can stay on. I took notice of the overnight bag next to his. Okay, are you taking me home tomorrow? He nodded. Janice is meeting us for breakfast, and I'll take you home after that. Are you moving in with her? He nodded. Her husband divorced her. What's going to happen to me? He squeezed my hand gently. You're almost 19, so it's up to you. Janice and I will make sure to have a guest room for you for wherever we end up living. I leaned my head against the headrest of my seat, shut my eyes, and covered my ears, and we finished the car ride in silence. Once we settled into the hotel room, Uncle Chandler patted the bed next to him. Come here, baby bunny. I leaned against his chest and started sobbing. His hand moved up and down my back. How long has this been going on? I whispered. Since we looked at the house in Westchester, we've been seeing each other secretly for 2 weeks. When are you and Auntie Monica divorcing? In a month or so. Are you gonna marry Janice? We're eloping and having a honeymoon in Ontario in February. My sobs escalated. His lips grazed my ear. Honey, don't be sad. Everything is going to be okay. I thought you loved us, Uncle Chandler. He cupped my chin in the palm of his hands. Jennifer Ava, I will never ever stop loving you, okay? What about Auntie Monica? He sighed. I think things will be better for both of us this way. She always had feelings for Richard, and now that she knows about the unresolved feelings I've had for Janice, both of us can be with the people that we were supposed to be with. I crawled into his lap. Daddy, I whispered. His arms engulfed me. There's my best girl, he murmured, and he held me in his arms for the first time in a long time, rocking me steadily. I know this is a lot for you to take in. Are you okay? I nodded. He carried me to the couch and covered me with a blanket. Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Daddy, I love you, I murmured. His hand gently pushed my bangs out of my eyes, and his lips grazed my forehead. Jennifer Ava Melius Bang, you are my precious baby girl no matter how old you get. Daddy loves you, Angel. My cell phone buzzed, and my caller ID screen flashed with a text saying it was from Auntie Monica. Janice is a homewrecker. She has orchestrated this in the back of her mind ever since Uncle Chandler and I got engaged. She announced without even a hello. I sighed. I'm sorry, Auntie Monica. Chandler told me you have always had a thing for Richard, though. Do you think that could, lead to anything? I asked, trying to be delicate, but hoping she could see the bright side of the situation. Her voice softened slightly. Her voice... Maybe. We have kept in touch all this time, but I don't think he's seeing anybody else. But unlike some people I could mention, I'm certainly not going to rush into anything. Yeah, he just told me about that after the divorce goes through, he's eloping with Janice in Ontario. That bastard. I'm so sorry, Auntie Monica. What hotel are you staying at? The Ramada Inn. It's literally 10 minutes from where the prom was. Why? I'm assuming he's driving you home. Yes, he is. I can't deal with seeing him right now. Rachel is going to pick you up at 11 a.m. Please be ready to go. Okay. The next morning after breakfast, I packed my bags and met Rachel in front of the hotel. I threw my bags in the back seat and got into the passenger seat. Rachel squeezed my hand. How was the prom, honey? I smiled. Great, Tristan is so nice. He asked me to go to the movies next week. I'm so glad. I just wanted to let you know that Auntie Monica is happy for you too. She was just a little overwhelmed last night because of the affair. I nodded. I am overwhelmed too. Was Chandler inappropriate with you last night? I shook my head. I slept on the couch. Are you cutting ties with Chandler because of the affair? She looked at me sadly. Uncle Ross really wants me to. How come you don't want to? There was so much drama in this friend group over the years with cheating. Hell, our own relationship was riddled with it for so long. We want things to be stable for Emma. I looked at her. Have you fully forgiven Uncle Ross for his past infidelity? She sighed. I really want to, but I can't fully trust him not to cheat on me again. We even admitted to each other before I got the job in Paris that our relationship was not compatible. Has Uncle Chandler's affair made you question your own relationship? Rachel nodded. It has. I would not put it past Uncle Ross to cheat on me again. Do you want to be friends with Janice in spite of what is going on? Rachel exhaled. Over the years, we have not been nice to her. I am starting to realize that now, and while everybody else may not regret it, I certainly do. I definitely want to give Emma the opportunity to get to know Janice. Okay. So let me explain the reason why I gave Rachel this change of heart towards Janice in this fanfiction chapter. If you guys have seen the episode where Rachel is in the hospital giving birth to Emma, and she's having a hard time because she doesn't think Ross is going to be faithful to her, Janice has a talk with her and says that she's gonna wind up raising Emma on her own. And as I was writing this fan fiction chapter about Janice and Chandler having an affair, I also thought back to that scene when Janice was talking to Rachel in the hospital. And that's why I decided to throw the whole part of the story in with Rachel picking up Jenny from the prom, because that way I can tie that plot line together with the story. And plus, you guys know, I really don't like Rachel and Ross together as a couple. Even when I was originally watching Friends, when it was first airing in the 90s and early 2000s, I hated them together. I was actually kind of bummed that Gunther waited so long to admit his feelings for Rachel, because he was secretly pining for him the whole entire time. I kind of wish that if things had worked out in a different way, Gunther would have admitted his feelings to Rachel during the Halloween party in season 8, but that didn't happen. We all know that didn't happen. And I've mentioned before that I have the unpopular opinion that Joey and Rachel would have been nice together. I can definitely see why people, including the actors from Friends and the directors, did not think that couple would work out. But I have also written a fan fiction chapter about them getting together and raising Emma together. That's in a separate fan fiction I wrote called The Westchester Files, which is basically a postlude to Friends that takes place 6 years after the finale, where Rachel is raising Emma on her own in Paris and moves back to America because she opens her own boutique after working at Louis Vuitton for several years. And Gunther finally gets together with her and dates her. She is not with Ross because they never got married. And Gunther ends up marrying her and becoming Emma's stepfather. And I really liked how that story turned out. A lot of other things I decided to do in the story is for those of you who have never read it, I wrote an alternative relationship chapter for Jack Geller and Monica, where Jack pulls Monica aside in the season 6 Thanksgiving episode to tell her that Richard is her dad. So when I was originally watching Friends as a teenager, I found the relationship between Monica and Richard to be alluring because Monica was so much older than Richard. But now, as an adult who is in her 40s, I have realized that Monica and Richard's relationship is actually kind of disgusting because Richard is the same age as her dad. She's her dad's best friend. They've known each other for a long time. I think they work together or something. Like, I really don't remember the connection between Richard and Jack Geller, but they're best friends nonetheless. So that's why I think it's so weird that Monica and Richard date, because they don't really, as we learn in the beginning part of season 2, when Monica and Richard are in the apartment talking about their future and moving to Paris and having kids, Richard says he doesn't want to have kids because he already has kids and is old enough to be a grandfather. So people speculate that the reason, like, I have seen a lot of posts on Instagram about why Monica dates Richard, or at least 2 or 3 posts, and other fans speculate that the reason why Monica dates Richard is because she has daddy issues with the abuse and neglect from her parents. But so Paris has the same issue in Gilmore Girls, which is why she dates her Professor Asher. But I think what makes Richard and Monica's relationship so interesting is that my theory is that Jack is complicit in the abusive behavior that his wife does to Monica with the abuse and the favoritism against Ross. But deep down inside, he really cares for both of them because, as you can see in the video during the prom night episode, when they're watching the video of the prom, and Ross is anxious about showing his feelings for Rachel, and like when her date stands her up, he wants to take her, but then the date shows up, and like the dad is really encouraging to him to go after Rachel. And that's one way you can tell that he cares about both his kids. And then he has really good dynamics with Monica outside of the abusive behavior with Judy, because in the episode where the grandmother passes away, he's talking to her about how he wants to be buried at sea with a 6-gun salute. And then when she breaks up with Richard at the beginning of season 3, he comes over to check on her, and then he tells her that, like, Richard is really having a hard time with the breakup too. And then they start to watch a movie together, but then Monica falls asleep on the couch next to him. And then, in a complete turn of events, in the part where, like, her car gets damaged because it's soaked by the rain or something, Jack actually realizes about how badly he has treated Monica all these years, so he decides to fix the car up and give it to her. And I really wish that Monica's relationship with her dad had been better explored in Friends, because I just thought that the 2 scenes that we got together with them were really great, and they should have been really explored more. And another interesting thing about the episode where the grandmother dies is that Judy actually explains to Monica that her mother, like, abused her. So there's definitely generational trauma with these characters, kind of like Lorelai and Emily Gilmore, which is why I think that if there had ever been a crossover episode between Friends and Gilmore Girls made, because the last couple of seasons of Friends were on at the same time that Gilmore Girls started, and, like, I didn't watch Gilmore Girls when it was originally airing, but I really wish that I had now, because now that I realize that there are common threads in between these shows, it would have been cool if there had been a crossover episode that explored intergenerational trauma, because that way Judy and Monica and Emily and Lorelai could have maybe met at therapy, because, well, to be fair, in the spin-off series, Lorelai and Emily do go to therapy. But since both of these families are Jewish, I also have a theory that maybe they see the same therapist, because you never really see you hear about who the therapist is in Friends. Her name is Dr. Weinberg. Or I assume it's a woman, it might be a guy, I don't know. But, like, and you never see the face of the therapist. I haven't seen the spin-off of Gilmore Girls yet. I'm only at the end of season 3 of the original series at the moment. But, I think that if there had been a spin-off, or if there had been a crossover episode of Friends and Gilmore Girls that aired when both shows are on, I think it would have been fun to find out if, like, Paris was related to Monica and Ross, because that's my theory. My theory, as I have said in previous videos, is that Paris is the second cousin of Monica and Ross, because their father, Jack, is cousins with Paris's grandfather, who, in my fanfiction, I named Charles. Not to be confused with Charles Bing. I kind of didn't think about that. I might end up changing that character name now. But I have the reason how I connected Paris to Monica and Ross in my theory is that Paris's grandfather and Monica and Ross's father are related because they're cousins, and they're also war buddies because they both fought in the Korean War together. So, that's it. I also just wanted to plug the fan fiction I'm going to be selling in my art show. It's $15. The book is going to be called The Five Musketeers, The Adventures of Jenny. Ariana, Gianna, Jenny, Savannah, and Trinity. I had to change all the Gilmore Girls and Friends character names. So, for the record, all of the teenage female characters, these are their names. Gianna is Rory, Ariana is Lane, Savannah is an original character. She's Richard Burke's granddaughter. And then Trinity is Paris. And this fan fiction that I am selling at the art show will also be coming with original song lyrics that I'm working on. I have a bonus chapter in the fan fiction that is about disability rights activism, because I heard a fan theory that Paris's friend Madeline might be neurodivergent, so I worked that into my fan fiction, and I'm currently working on putting those song lyrics to music, but I'm going to be reading the song as a poem at an open mic night on Tuesday at Double House at 7. So I'm excited about that, because hopefully I'm going to generate a few more sales. If you would like to buy a copy of my fan fiction, you can message me on Instagram or send me or leave a comment below, and I will make sure to add you to the pre-order list. The admission list for pre-orders is rolling admissions, and there's no cutoff date for when you can let me know if you're going to if you want to order a copy. So $15, you can either write me a check or Venmo, or give me cash the next time you see me in person. Have a great day.